All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Kohaloyim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadash. Double honors to my apostles and my elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to all you Akim out there preaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth with truth and sincerity in your hearts and for the love of the gospel. I'm the brother Shamar Yah, coming at you with another lesson. This lesson is going to be over Revelations, the 14th chapter. All right, specifically speaking about the second, mainly the song. What's that? 3. Let me sing the song. Yep, 3. All right, but without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. This is book of Revelations 14 and 1. All right, it says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name. Excuse me, that's a demon. I ain't yawned all day. It says, having his father's name written in their foreheads. All right. So it said that the lamb, which we know who's Yahweh Shai, right? Because the lamb received the power, and he sat on the throne. 3, or that's 5 and 3. No, it's not 3. It's toward the end. So 5 and 13 it says, and every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, such as are in the sea and all that are in them, heard I saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth on the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever. All right, so that Lamb is the one that sitteth on the throne. He's Yahweh Shai. All right, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus, but his true name, his Hebrew name, his only name is Yahweh Shai. All right, so from there, that lamb that stood on Mount Zion, right, Israel, and with him 144,000, which is the elect, having his father's name written in their foreheads, right? And a name written in our foreheads is the same mark. And when you go to the book of Ezekiel, you go to the book of Ezekiel 9 and 4, it's the same mark, right? And that word mark means exempt from judgment. Mark, Ezekiel. Matter of fact, in this, I'm gonna hold Revelations in this app. Revelations 14, and then in this one, I'm gonna get the Ezekiel 9 and 4. Ezekiel 9 and 4. So Ezekiel 9 and 4 says, and the Lord said unto him, go throughout the midst of the city, throughout all the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right, so that mark means, where is it? Set a mark. All right, that mark means tawa in the Hebrew. It says a mark, by implication, a signature, desire, mark. All right, it doesn't get it. See, this strong concordance doesn't get it the way the blue letter gets it. So let's go to Ezekiel 9 and 4, because that mark is very important. That mark means exempt from judgment, and only the elect is going to have that mark, and that's what the whole lesson is about. Fighting to be part of the elect, all right, and understanding the value of understanding the Lord's words is very important. Ezekiel 9 and 4, it says, he said to him, walk through the streets of Jerusalem and set a mark, right? Let's get that word mark. It says desire, mark, as a sign of exempt from judgment. See, a sign of exemption from judgment. All right, a mark by implication, a signature, right? So that mark means exempt from judgment, and the Hebrew word there is thawa. All right, means exempt from judgment. So that mark is very important, and that's the same mark that the men of the Lord has had, right? And the and 14:1. This is back to Revelations 14:1. No, I'm sorry, and 2. It says, I heard a voice from heaven as a voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of the harpers harping with their harps. All right, so there was music, right? It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. All right, so that that song, all right, is what we're doing when we preach Yahweh Shem Yahushua. When we tell the truth, and it's not just partially part of the truth, because you have some people out here, all right, that know they're Israelites. They know the Esau Edom is. They know his judgment, but they don't preach the whole truth. They don't preach the whole doctrine. That's not the song. The song is the 100% truth of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, and you may say, "Oh, how do you know the whole song?" We're gonna see when we get there, because the scripture says what? Malachi 3 in the last verse. Malachi 3:18. It says, then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, and between him that serveth Yahweh and him that serveth him not. All right, so then we're going to know who hath the 100% truth, right? And we believe we have the 100% truth because we come out the scriptures. It's already prophesied that the elect was going to get the Lord's name, that the Lord was going to magnify his name unto his elect, you know? That's why we preach in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and that is the song. Understanding the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding. It's the whole 100% gospel, man. The good tidings. All right, that's the song. The secrets, the allegories, the dark speeches, everything. All right, and only the elect is going to have that name. All right, let's go back. Turn my Wi-Fi back off. Let's go back to so read that one more time. It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne. So as it were a new song, which is the same song that we've been singing since the beginning of time. All right, but we fell away. We got in the flesh, and then we have to sing it again to be redeemed, right? Before the world, we have to be redeemed before the world, before everybody. All right, so it says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, which the angels. It says, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. All right, which were redeemed from the earth. And that's that song. So with that, let me get a couple precepts, right? Now let me get the precepts in this Psalms. The book of Psalms 25 and 14. 25 and 14 says what? It says the secret. I started up. Psalms 25 and 12. It says, What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way that he shall choose. Right? His soul shall dwell at ease. His seed shall inherit the earth. It says the secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. All right, so only the elect is going to understand the Lord's covenant, because he's going to bring back the elect. Amos said he's going to build it, the tabernacle of David, as the days of old, and that's what he's doing. He's building the tabernacle of David before the eyes of the world. All right, only the tabernacle of David is going to understand the whole 100% truth of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is the song that we're singing. When we're preaching this word, and we're going on the highways and byways, and we do these lessons, and we exhort one another. Anything we do, all right, uplifting and glorifying Yahweh Shem Yahushua is part of the song. All right. And ultimately it goes into the secrets, because without the secrets, that's why the Lord has hidden this truth from 2/3 in the rest of the world. Right? The Lord has blinded these people. because of the only song. Because the scripture says what? Let's get it again. It says what? No man could learn that song but the 144,000. That's the only people that's going to learn that song. So the rest of the world what are blinded. This is the book of Second Corinthians 3. I'm sorry. 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Right? It is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world, right? God only means power, right? So the power of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine unto them, right? So unless they understand and see the light, they're going to be blocked. They're going to be stumbling at the true knowledge of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It doesn't say in Isaiah that the Lord hath laid stumbling blocks before this people. I think that's Isaiah, what, 6? No, I'm sorry, Jeremiah. Jeremiah 16 says stumbling blocks. The Lord has laid stumbling blocks for this people. I think it's yeah, it's 6 and 21. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah real quick. 6 and 21. It says what? Jeremiah 6 and 21. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The neighbor and his friend shall perish. So the Lord said what? I will lay stumbling blocks. Right? So the Lord speaking of himself says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people. So the secrets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is only given to the elect in the entire 1/3. All right, but only the elect is going to be the ones prophesying these secrets. All right, that's the difference between the 1/3 that's going to get delivered, the multitude, and the 144,000. The elect are all going to be prophets. All right, they're going to prophesy out there in the highways and the byways. So let's get the revelations again. It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth, man. So that means it had to been blinded from everybody else. Everybody else was going to get this. So you have to understand that this is a privilege. All right, that to praise the Lord and teach the world his gospels, man. And whether it be for whether they people hear or whether they forbear, you're still singing a song. All right, from now let's get Amos 2. Amos 2 and 6. Amos 2 and 6 says, it's not 2 and 6. 3 and 6. Amos 3 and 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? All right, so should there be evil in the city? So the Lord, everything that the Lord does, everything that happens on earth is the Lord's doing. The Lord, nothing happens in the world without the Lord sanctioning it first. All right. It says, surely, all right, let me read that 6 again. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? See, a trumpet in the ancient world was a signal or a warning, right? It was a signal to signify the people to run into shelter because there's going to be an attack or we're about to go to war, you know? So there's trouble in the city when a trumpet was blown. You know, they had many different trumpets for different things, but this is talking about the trumpet for war. It says, and the people not be afraid. So we're out there singing the song. Another term for singing this song or for prophesying is blowing the trumpet. All right, blowing a trumpet and singing a song is roughly the same thing. All right, because we're warning the people. You know, we're warning, and that's a beautiful sound in the ears of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua when you go out there and warn your brethren of what's to come. So it says, These people are supposed to be afraid, but they are not. It says, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be an evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it?" So when the evil comes, the Lord is going to do it, but you have the opportunity to be delivered. It says, "Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets." He's going to do nothing but what? He revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. You know? So his prophets are going to understand his word. And only the prophets. Let's get that one in Psalms I like a lot. I always get this a lot. Psalms, I think it's 9 and 4. Um, no, it's not 9 and 4. It's Psalms. What Psalms it after Job? It's Psalms. What is it? Oh, I'm sorry. It's Proverbs. Proverbs 9. Mm. It said his is it 8 and 9? Yep, 8 and 9. It's Psalm. This is the book of Psalms. I'm sorry. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness, and there is nothing froward or perverse in them. All right. So all these words in the scriptures, all right, is righteousness, and there is nothing froward or perverse. Which froward means lies, and perverse is anything perverted, which means outside of the temple of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. It says, "They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that findeth knowledge." See, they're all plain to them that findeth knowledge, man, that understand. They're all going to be plain. You know, that's like the script. That's like the Apocrypha, when the Apocrypha says, "So are they stumbling blocks to the wicked." It says plain, holy. It's the book of Ecclesiastes 39 and 24. It says, "As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked." All right, so the holy are going to understand the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. They're going to understand what that song. They're going to understand his secrets. They're going to understand the gospels. They're going to understand the glory. All right, not only will they understand the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, but they're also going to be humble and meek, knowing when to apply, when to discern. All right, they're going to get the 100%. Because why? Because they're plain. They were ordained from the foundations of the earth. Let's get that. This is the book of Jeremiah. Back in the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah 1 and 5. This is the book of Jeremiah 1 verse 5. It says, "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee." All right, to be sanctified means to be made holy. All right, so he said, "Before you came forth out the womb, I sanctified thee already, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." So the Lord already predestinated the elect to be the elect. He predestinated Jeremiah to prophesy his word unto the nations. He already told before Jeremiah was even born. So what more so the rest of the prophets? The rest of the prophets, in like manner, was before they were born, the Lord had already preordained when they was going to wake up to being an Israelite. Because in this current condition of our people, we're born and raised in a society where we don't even know who we are. We're lied to our entire life, and only the elect is going to understand the truth and rise up out of those ashes, out of the death that we were given. Right? That we were going to be taught that song that no one else could learn. Right? Only the elect. So the Lord already ordained it from the foundations of the earth. From there, let's get Wisdom of Solomon 1. I'm sorry, Sirach 1. Sirach, this is Ecclesiasticus, better known as Sirach 1 and 14. It says, "To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb." The faithful is who? The holy. The faithful, the holy, the righteous. These are all the elect, the 144,000 that stood next to Yahushua, right? Having their father's name written in their foreheads. This is all the song that no man could learn that song but 144,000. right? So let me close up with this Matthews real quick. It's the book of Matthew 11. I started like 15. It says, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. See? He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Before I get there, let's get 13. Matthew 13 and 10. It says, and his disciples came, Matthew 13:10, and his disciples, Matthew 13:9. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. That's what made me think about this Matthews. Matthews 13 and 9. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Everybody has actual ears to hear, unless you're deaf. But even if you're deaf, you have ears. So everybody has ears and everybody hears. But if you can understand the words of this book, if you can understand Yahweh Shem Yahushua calling out to you, if you can understand the sheep's voice, the shepherd's voice, all right, then you're one of his. It's a potential, all right, that you have been called, because everybody's called, when they accept this word, but not everybody's chosen. We don't know who's going to be chosen until the Lord actually comes and delivers us. Because it did say redeemed in the Revelations 14 and 3. It said redeemed out of the work. You're redeemed out of the earth. All right, so Matthew 13 and 9. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? And he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But to them it is not given. So it ain't given to them, man. So we be out there teaching these people or trying to teach the people and they're not hearing us. It ain't for them. We're only looking for the elect. We're being fishers of men. The Lord has made us fishers of men, and we're looking for our brethren. The ones that don't know that the ones that don't know and they're still asleep. They haven't woke up yet, right? So this is Matthews 11 and 15. It says, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. But whereunto shall I liken? Well, whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows. And who are the children? We're the children. All right, we're sitting in the markets. How are we sitting in the markets? Because the Psalms 1 and 20 says, I call wisdom calleth without. It sitteth in the chief place of concourse. The chiefiest place of concourse is usually the markets and where people gather to go buy and sell. And that's where we're sitting. When you see us at camp on the highways and the byways, you seeing us where? In the chief place of the markets, calling unto our fellows. Who are our fellows? The elect. Calling unto the elect, right? Saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. So that's a symbolicness of us singing this song. We're piping, we're singing, but you ain't dancing. You're not rejoiced. You're not happy. All right, you're not ecstatic with joy because you can't hear it. You can't hear the song. It's in your ears, it's like cut that off. But in Yahweh Shem Yahushua's ears, it's a joyful noise, like the scriptures say, make a joyful noise. All right, you're supposed to be singing and happy that you're an Israelite, and the Bible is meant for you. And the truth is, you're the great people. You're the children of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But unto the rest of the world, man, it's not given. The Lord has laid stumbling blocks before these people. So if you understand these words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then you have a really great blessing, man. And sometimes Satan can come in your mind and invade, but that's his job, to test your faith. But you're supposed to keep at it, You're supposed to keep at it, and that's what the Lord wants to see, your resilience. He wants you to see. He wants Satan to go test you to see if you're really a man of the Lord, right? If you're really gonna hold your own. But man, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.